All right, welcome everyone to our City Council budget meeting for February 26th, and Michael will be presenting all of our numbers.
All righty, good evening, everybody.
Hello.
Okay, we're going to go over just our normal monthly budget packet. So you should have it's the budget packet for December. Your first page is going to be our sales and use tax distribution. You'll see that our sales tax that we collected in October was remitted to the state in November, and we received it in December. Our total was $413,582,000.
I wish.
I wish too.
Me.
We could do a lot with that. As you can see, $60,000 went to the street fund. We have $262,000 went into our general fund, $65,000 went to parks, and $25,000 went to our bond payment. The next page is just the invoice from the state, where you can see our collection was $424,000.
Question.
Yes, sir.
Now, the money that goes to streets, that's dedicated money from sales
Yes.
tax, right?
Yes.
wanna
Transferred to
make sure.
streets, and it's dedicated money to them. The next page, on page 3, that's just the breakdown of the percentages of the sales tax, what each piece is. On page 4, you'll see this is our new chart that we do at David's request to kind of show what the different areas of the tax is coming from. With 24% of it is coming from lodging, 15% of it's coming from food and beverage, and 61% of it's coming from the other areas of taxes. The next few pages, 5 through 13, is just the detail that makes up that chart. So that's just the basics. On page 14 of 44, this is our sales and use tax comparison. You'll see that for the month of December, we had $348,278.91. It was pretty much flat with 2022, December of 2022, which is going to bring our overall year to where we're up $55,314.78 over 22. So we're going to have a 1.72% increase in sales tax over 2022. So that's right where we were budgeting. We were budgeting right at about a 2%. So it's coming in right where we budgeted it. Page 15, that just shows you your year over year. 21, 22, and 23 monthly taxes. Just kind of show you in a bar chart there how we're doing. Page 16, this is our revenue and expenditure report. Our total actual revenue for the end of the year was $14,156,569. Our total expenses were $13,414,690. These both came in about 9% below where we were expecting them to come in. So our revenue was down a little bit, but we were also able to control our expenses a little bit. This shows that for the year, we made $741,878. And what I would like to do here is just kind of, I did a little summary thing. Get it out here. Just kind of a high level to look at to kind of see what we did for the year. So if you take our revenue for 23, $14.1 million, and our expenses for $13.4 million, that says that we have a revenue of $741,000. The reason why it shows that we have such a big increase is because of our beginning fund balances that are in there, which is money we pulled out of reserves that we had to help fund our capital expenditures. So if you take out our reserve balances, our actual revenue versus expenses, we lost about a little over $400,000. That's reflective in our ending fund balances, which we'll look at in a minute. We ended December 22 with $7.6 million. We ended 23 with $7.2 million in the bank. The thing to keep in mind is that includes $1.1 million worth of expenditures. So we made money for the year on our normal average revenue and expenses, but we spent a lot in capital, which we knew we were going to. So we spent a lot in capital. So the offset of it, the net, is even with the $1.1 million that we spent in capital, we only used $400,000 of our money. Does that kind of flow?
Do you anticipate this happening again this next year? You think we're going to be a little short again, or?
Well, it's not really that we're short. It's just that we had part of it was I&I, which that was money we had set aside for I&I. It was about $370,000 that we knew we were going to have to pull out of our. We weren't expecting to pay for that with our revenues. We also, the new ambulance, some other things, we were expecting to pay for that out of money that we had in reserve. We weren't expecting to pay for it out of our daily revenue. So if you take it out, that money, we actually made $700,000 last year. So we actually had a profitable year. It's just that we had decided to collectively take some money out of our savings to buy some capital, to do some capital things.
Much needed capital.
Much needed capital things.
Much needed
yeah.
capital.
So your goal is we want to make enough to pay for those capitals so that our money stays even. That's not always going to be feasible.
Wastewater plant.
Yes, exactly, exactly. So that's kind of a high level.
I like it.
Is there any questions about the revenue and expenditures report? Any questions on that? Okay. The next few pages of that is just the detail of it, the breakdown of everything. Page 39, this is our capital expenditures report, this is those capital expenditures that we're talking about. We were able to obtain all of our capital expenditures except for two. One is the flushing trailer, which we now have. It has came in this month, so we do have that. They've been on site the last couple of weeks, showing them how to use it and everything that needs to be done with it. And then the other thing is the truck for transit. The truck is in Little Rock, but it has to go through the state and the government and everything for them to do all their inspections on it, since it's going to be paid for out of some of the transit revenue stuff. So since they have an interest in it. So once they release the truck, Smitty will be picking that up. He's hoping that's going to happen within this first quarter of 2024. So our total expenditures on that capital page of what it adds up to is $745,000 is how much we spent there in capital for the ambulance, the radios, snowplow, the striping machine. I mean, just a lot of things that we needed. Okay. The next one is the one that I already kind of touched on, which is the comparative bank balances year and month end. If you'll kind of look on the first column, you'll see year end December of 2022. If you'll go down at the bottom of it, you'll see that we had $7.6 million in the bank at the end of the year last year. Our monthly balances at the end of December 21st of 2023 is 7.1, almost $7.2 million. So that's we spent $1 million in capital, a little over $1 million in capital, but because we had profit coming in, it only ended up costing us like $400,000. It reduced our capital. 42 is just kind of a comparison on the chart. You can see the very first column is December of 2022, which is 7.6 million. December of 23, the almost 2 million for the difference. So you'll see we pretty much stayed flat throughout the year. And then page 43 is the comparison of the month over month bank balance comparisons. for 22 versus 23. And then page 44, this is just our monthly long-term debt. This is as of 12/31 of 2023. We owe it's over $1 million. And our next payment is going to be on April 1st of 2024, which is an interest-only payment of $8,000. Yes, sir.
It's kind of for you and Butch both. You know, there's chances are, you know, we may have to do a new sewer bond. We get as much grant money as we can, of course, and keep that to the minimum. But more than likely, that's going to have to occur before 27, and we get this other one paid off. So I would suppose the trick would be to wrapping them, and this one's going to be down enough that I can't imagine anybody not wanting to pick it up. But
This is the sales and use tax bond. The water bond is paid off.
right,
Yeah.
I know, but it still reflects, you
As
know,
debt.
as a, you know,
Right.
a debt that we have.
That was for the sewer system.
That's what I'm saying. And so, I mean, we don't necessarily, do we pay did we pay the water one out, the sewer bond out of the water account? Is that how no?
The old ones
We did?
were.
Yeah.
And that's what they have to be done? Is that?
No.
or We can't do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the water is an enterprise fund in that it's to be kept separate. So and that has a lot to do with this legislation that's coming out where we met today on where we're starting this rate study. They're wanting water departments to pay for their water department. They're wanting it to be self-sufficient.
And sewer
Yes.
Oh,
in total.
Yes.
So in doing that, then we're looking at shit, I don't know. That can make it very difficult, couldn't it?
well, the bond that we have right now that we're paying on was for the sewer plant, wasn't it?
I believe
What?
it was. I think, wasn't it?
I don't think so. The water sewer bond is the one that we paid off early.
No,
Okay.
no, this was before those.
Do we have that? We don't have that on here, do we?
Yeah, I think this is the sewer one too.
It is, it's the first sewer plant bond.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we had to put 2 more bonds on it, which we've paid off, and those were paid out of the water bill.
This is paid by sales tax, this one.
I understand,
Yeah.
and it's a pretty low interest rate too, so I don't know that we want to roll it into something else.
Well, I mean, it depends on what they're going to offer.
And
We're going to pay this one off anyway, but it may be that we'll just have to look at it when the time comes, I guess.
Sure.
speaking to the wastewater plant, Arkansas was just recently awarded $53 million for infrastructure. So could we get a hold of some of that?
We only need 6 of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've gotten dozens of emails
Okay.
regarding
Okay, good.
that today. And,
Just a little bit of
you know,
it.
it remains to be seen how that's going to be distributed and what's going to happen to it.
Of course.
You know, we've got our application in, not only for that, but also for low-interest loans. A lot of these, you have to apply for the low-interest loan before you become eligible for any grants.
Yeah, okay.
So we'll kind of keep our fingers crossed.
But
Yes.
those loans come through the state now, right?
Yes.
It's federal money, but it comes through the state, so
okay.
we should have sent a Valentine's card to Sarah.
Yeah, yeah.
You better start sucking up, Harry. Got some work to do.
Consider it happening.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Any
I'm
other
good.
questions?
On the capital expenditures, are these the only ones that are noteworthy, or, other departments, are they not having any sort of capital expenditures, or?
Well, all the department capital expenditures are on that capital expenditure report.
Well, I mean, like, for instance, Parks Department, they're not listed on here.
They're not
They've
part of
got
our
their own
budget. They have their own budget. They're not part of our department.
Yep.
Parks.
Yep, okay.
CAPC, hospital.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
yep.
all
Okay.
outside of our purview.
This is all city and city capital, water, sewer,
Police, fire.
public works.
Transit, police, fire,
Yeah.
that kind of
The-
stuff.
Then
there
that's
could
pretty
be
much all of them.
Computers or something go out mid-year or something that they got to replace, things like that you add in, but you just add them in.
Now, we should get a year end from Parks and.
Yeah, we
Well,
will,
got
and
CAPC.
we'll be getting a year end report
Your mind.
for both parks. Yeah.
Yeah. We got one from the, yeah. Well,
Anybody else? I mean, we're pretty early in our budget report, but everything's looking, so far, we'll see what happens.
Our taxes are coming in about where we're at. I think we're about 2% right now for the taxes that we got for January and February. So we're still hovering. It looks like it's, we predicted it to be pretty flat over 23. So that's where we're coming in at right now on those taxes. So it's coming in where we projected it. So that's good. All right, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Michael. All right, well, if there isn't anything else, we will go ahead and adjourn until our 6 o'clock council meeting.